you have to have at least 3 secondary sources from the Eastern Florida Library. So that means research. That can be interviews, critical essays on the topic. It can be expert opinions. That could also be videos and video formats. So there are a lot of e-videos on different topics like civil rights or communication in the workplace. So you have a lot of sources in the databases. Sometimes it's just that people are unfamiliar with how to search the databases. Everyone is used to searching Google, so it is a little different. So this annotated bibliography will help you with this first step of researching. Then paper 4 will actually be where you write about the research in an analytical form. So you will choose a topic. Sometimes the topics are controversial, but it's not your aim to argue one side or the other. What you're really doing is just finding research on the topic and analyzing the research that's out there. So for the annotated bibliography, it does need to be 3 full pages. And since the minimum is 3 sources, you can accomplish this by having a full page annotation for each source that you find. These bullet points explain how to write the annotation. If you find that you are not able to reach a full page for each annotation, then the other option is to go ahead and find another source or 2. So you could have 5 sources and still accomplish this 3 full pages. So the minimum is 3 sources, and the minimum for each annotation is 200 words. The length for the assignment is 3 full pages. So you can accomplish that, like I said, in a couple different ways. So you may be wondering now, well, what should I research and write about? So for paper 4, if we scroll down, paper 4 is a research paper where you have the option to choose a topic, but there are some parameters, and that really is just to use the textbook and find one story from the textbook, use that in your research paper, in addition to the minimum 3 library sources you find. And that textbook reading should inspire your topic choice. So I have some samples here to kind of get the wheels moving and generate some ideas for some of you. So the first is using a piece of literature by Maya Angelou and relating that textbook story, Champion of the World, to a larger topic of Black writers influencing the civil rights movement. Here are a couple other options. This story was one of the options for paper 2, but if you ended up analyzing like Judy Brady's I Want a Wife, then you could still use this for paper 3 and 4. So the main thing is, if you have written about the textbook story for paper 2, then you cannot use it now. But other than that, you can choose any textbook story to base your topic on. Another thing to keep in mind is there is a sample here for what an annotated bibliography will look like. So this is an example of an annotation. And here you will see that an annotation will summarize what the source's main points and some key details, but it will also analyze the author in terms of who is this author, why are they credible to talk about the topic, when was the source published, how does that maybe impact the reliability. So maybe, something in science that was published in 1995 would not be as reliable as something published in 2018. But when it comes to, this is about the process of writing. So writing, even though it was published in 1995 and there have been different advancements in educational research, this still is valid. And so maybe that's something that I would include in here, is even though it was an older publication, why I believe it could still be helpful for my research. So check out this sample. Also know that the Purdue OWL has samples. Oh, I will change that for you guys. I did not realize that link was broken. So the Purdue OWL has samples. That's usually my go-to for an outside website, but also other colleges, Harvard, UNC, they have really good writing labs as well. So the next step, after you kind of have an idea of what topic you would like to research, just go ahead and go to the library, and here on the home page is a basic search. You can use that. Like I just typed in a very broad topic of space exploration, and that was based off of the story Stars of Life on page 323. And it's a very broad topic, so this is not where I will end. This is just a beginning of let's see what's out there on the topic of space exploration, and then I can learn how to narrow down my topic more specific. Maybe I want to talk about how space exploration has enhanced a certain technology like the internet. The other way, if you have a few ideas, maybe since I already had that idea of, space exploration and the internet, I can always go to advanced search, and here I can type in more than one keyword. So maybe I want to type in the internet. And then the other thing, for my purposes, I'm not near a library, one of the campuses, so I'm not going to click books in the library because that's not going to help me. Instead, I'm going to click on items with full text because that means items online that I'm able to view. And maybe something else that I want to look at is just for the last 8 years, so I can change the year. And now I have a ton of different sources that show up. As we can see over here, there's over 100,000 sources. So it's because I chose such a big, broad topic, and that's okay. This is just the first start of research. And through reading even just some of the article titles, or some of these are videos, I can come up with maybe a few more keywords that could help me limit my source results. So let's look at maybe one of the things that I want to look at about space exploration and the internet is just how our exploration to Mars has given us more technology. All right, so this article right here, this does attract my attention. That's one of the things about research is you want to read things that, the title should grab your attention. We did talk a little bit about titles being important, and that goes for research as well. So if it's a interesting title, there is a chance that the article will also interest you. So I would go ahead and click on the title. And here on this page, you can see there's a bunch of options at the top. I could email myself this article if, say, I had to run off to work or, do something else and I want to come back to it. I can also, they even have the option to text. So this may look different for some of you who have used the databases in previous semesters. The library just updated their databases since the summer. So now it looks a little different, but the same options are available. So the other is this first option to add to a folder. So I could add all the research that I find for this specific topic to one folder, and then that way I could email myself the entire folder. So that option's there. Be aware, though, that if you were to click on the article from where we were after I did the search, and it tells you have to sign in, you need to sign in with your B number and your birthday. And that information, you can go to the library homepage where we were, and over here on the left, there's information about the library account and card, and you can always contact a librarian if you still are having trouble, but you will need to sign in to view these articles. All right, so say I read this little summary. Yes, it looks good. It looks like something that I am interested in writing research about. And now I even have maybe some other things. Maybe I want to include the term SpaceX in my next keyword search. So one of the things that I can do is, and I want to show you guys, is the citation is available in the databases. So I don't actually have to go get my handbook out and figure out how to cite it. It's already cited for me. So once I click to view the full text, over here on the right, there's a citation tool. So this is great. Then you want to make sure you scroll down to the correct one, the MLA format, and I could copy that onto my Word document. So the one thing to keep in mind is it's not always perfect. It's near perfect citation, but as we can see, the first item listed, the author's name, it should not be in all capital letters. So that would just be a minor change. I would just change his name to lowercase other than the first letters. And EBSCOhost is the database. So if you're all wondering, how will I know if you got the source from the database? In the citation, it lists both the source where it was published in PC Magazine, but the database is hosting this article, and that's how I know, along with, this is the permalink, that's how I know that the source came from the database, and I can easily click on the link and find the source. It will direct me back to the database. If you have questions about citations, if, say, your article does not have a cite, or if you're using a video and you can't find where to cite it, just send me the permalink. So don't go up to your URL and copy that, because if I click on that, most of the time it'll bring me to a page that is not found. So what you want to do is go, like here, there's the permalink, and then I can copy that. Or back where we were on our first initial page before I clicked view the record, there was the option up here for permalink. So this is what you need to send me if you need any help with citing, or if you have any questions about, oh, these are some articles that I found, you know, if you want my opinion or anything like that, you need to send me this link, the permalink, instead of the URL. So as you can see, the databases aren't difficult to use. It is different than using Google, of course, but I'm available for help. The librarians are available for help both here online. You can chat with a librarian, you can text, email, or you can go to campus. So there's a lot of assistance to help you guys with research. And no matter really what field you go into, you will have more research papers after this course. So this is really making sure everyone's comfortable. When it comes to choosing a topic, I am also available for guidance. I want you guys to, you know, make this final paper is your paper. You write about something that interests you, but I'm more than happy to provide some additional samples if the 3 that are posted here to the paper 3 guidelines, if you're not interested in those, or if you have a couple that you're trying to decide between and you would like my feedback, I am happy to help. So please utilize me. Don't feel like you're alone just because it's an online course. I'm here to help you. The last thing is we, of course, have our handbook with citations, but also, like I mentioned, the Purdue OWL is great. And they have right here an article from an online database. So this is the format that your database articles should be in. All right, I hope you guys are having a great end of your week. And as you work on these papers, please feel free to email me. Thanks.